All right, so we're going to start on puzzle number 4. Don't worry, guys, you're doing great. So this one is a little trickier than the others, which I know the other ones were tricky, but I promise we'll get you through this one. So it's called quick message, right? So it tells you that somebody was sitting at their computer and a friend came along. What's it say?
Well, it's got that, and that doesn't really mean anything.
Anything.
To
That's
me
gibberish.
at all. But as always, we have a couple of helpful clues sort of embedded in the puzzle itself as well as the quote, and I'll go over those really quick. So we have these two quotes, one at the very top of the puzzle and one in the middle. The first quote is, "He shoved me aside and, still looking at the figure in the distance, hurriedly typed something before running off towards it." And another quote, "Then again, maybe some of you have come to Hogwarts." Hogwarts, I know. "Some of you have come to Hogwarts in possession of abilities too formidable that you feel confident enough to not pay attention." So a couple of clues sort of embedded in here, right? We have somebody hurriedly typing something without paying attention to what they're doing, and a quote about being confident enough not to pay attention to what you're doing.
So those are the things that we kind of need to focus on as we go into the next part of the puzzle, right? Just remember that somebody was looking in the distance, wasn't paying attention to what they're doing, but they were still fairly confident that they knew what was going on. So now we're looking at a keyboard. Okay, so telling you somebody's typing, somebody came along and pushed you out of the way. But if you were just sitting there and typing, your hands would be where these blue dots are. It would say, these are where my hands are supposed to be. So in theory, when I type, things make sense and people can understand it. But if somebody pushes you out of the way, maybe your hands slide a little bit to the left. These are where your fingers could end up. So in keeping with this, if we look at where your fingers may end up when somebody pushes you aside, and then look back at what the gibberish was in the beginning, maybe we can start to decipher what somebody meant to type. So let's take a look at this. So we have the first letter, right? So we have a lowercase u, but really, if your fingers were where they're supposed to be, it would be an R, an I. Aw. It would be an I. All right. And then as we keep typing, so the next one is an E, but really it should be an R. Let's continue on. U, I. We're starting to see some things down here at the bottom, right? This actually makes a little bit more sense than what's on top. So I've got Irish so far. I can grasp onto that and keep going. That makes sense. Let's keep going. Perfect. So was a T, or was an R, but should be a T. And then this is where it kind of gets fun, right? All the letters all of a sudden become capitalized. Why would they become capitalized?
Maybe if you shifted a little bit too far, you wouldn't actually hit a letter. You'd actually hit...
You'd hit the caps lock.
Caps lock.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden everything's capitalized. So we have to put that into play. So instead of hitting the A, we're hitting the caps lock button. So we're going to put A down at the bottom. Excellent. So continuing on, we've got Irish talk. That's nothing. That means nothing. Oh, Irish talk. Keep going. Perfect. You see a pattern. Irish talk show host. Graham. Again, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is a good friend
That's
to all of us.
It's a nice little dictionary for everybody.
Now, I'm not a huge fan of Irish late night TV because it's over at 11 in the morning here where we are located. But
I, on the other hand, like to watch his reruns. So, Irish talk show, Graham Norton. Graham Norton. Have you seen any of Graham Norton's stuff?
I haven't. I should, though.
Hilarious.
I'm getting a look. I think I
So,
should.
so funny. He's so funny. Yep. So, Irish talk show host, Graham Norton, and that is puzzle number 4.